Hi, God. I feel like you tried to send me an email and it's just really not going through. Can you resend by any chance? No? No? I should have gotten the message by now. Wow, that's crazy. Thanks, God. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be discussing why I chose active duty compared to the two other options, reserves or guard. First, let's discuss what the differences are. Active duty. You are living, eating, breathing the military. The main advantage of going active duty is that you get full benefits. That includes full medical coverage and full dental coverage. You also get full pay as compared to the other two ways of serving. As we said, one is Air Force Reserves, or just any branch's reserve component, and then the other one is the National Guard, or the Air National Guard. So, now we get into the Air Force Reserves. That is where you are not active duty, but you still want to serve your country, and you're still interested in some of the benefits that come with this version of serving your country. That includes partial benefits, and also partial pay. The saying for the reserves and the National Guard is 1 week in a month or 2 weeks in a year, meaning every month for 1 weekend you will need to travel to the local base somewhere in your state and be trained so that you are maintaining how to do your job, you're maintaining your physical fitness, things of that nature. And then for 2 weeks in the year will be kind of an annual, let's get together for 2 weeks, really make sure we know our job, really do more intensive training, and just things of that nature. And so as you can tell, the comparison of time commitments between the two or three options, it largely differs between active duty and reserve or guard. One interesting component is that when you're in the guard, you have a dual mission. This means that you may be called upon to support troops abroad by the federal government or by your governor to support or to respond to a natural disaster or civic unrest. Let us get into why I chose active duty. So how I even got started. I'm just sitting somewhere in the atrium of a mall, per usual, on my phone, probably on Instagram, wasting time. But this time, the Lord is at work. I look up, no, I'm not crazy, this is going somewhere, and I see a poster, and it says, National Guard. Wait. Interesting proposal. I hope you cannot hear the water fountain in the background, but you probably can. Let's fix it. Where was I? I saw the poster and it said National Guard, and it just got me thinking. I don't know, it'll help me become more fit. I'll have some cool experiences learning how to work in the military depending on whatever job I get. So, why not? And so my butt said, okay, well, I'm off this Friday. Let go. It's Friday. So I wake up, I put on something approachable, but not uptight. I Google the New Jersey National Guard Armory, and I'm like, okay, it's literally like, 20 minutes from my house? So I was like, perfect, easy, let me get in my car, roll up. So I roll up to this huge building in downtown Newark, New Jersey. I park my car somewhere, I say, do I have to pay for this parking? No? Good. And I'm like, ready. But wait, before I open the door of my car, I look across the street and I say, it looks mighty quiet. Why are people not walking in or out of this building? How do I get in? Let me scan a little bit, because I see the building's door. But how do I get into past the big intense military cars to get to that door? This is like a huge metal thing blocking me. So there must be an opening, right? So I just start scanning the metal wall, and then I see something that looks like a door, like a part that could be open. But see how I said could be open? It wasn't open. So I'm like, let me get out my car, make sure it's actually locked. So I walk closer and closer to the gate, making sure it's not slightly open or just looks closed. And I pull on it. And I say, oh, okay, well, that's a no-go. So, well, it's a wrap. Just kidding. I don't give up so quick. So I go back to my car. I get on my phone, and I'm like, okay, where's the other armory? Like, because I know there has to be more than one, right? There has to be another place where National Guard people recruit people. I don't know. One locked gate is not going to hold me for my future. Okay? So I get in my car, I drive to the second armory, and I'm like, this is even more intimidating. This is on a hill, tanks lining the road to the main building at the top. They have white columns. There's like a huge driveway to get to the main building, and you're like, this was so real. Like, what? So I walk up to the second place, and lo and behold, it's also closed. But there's one more place that is for, National Guard or like reserves. No, I think it was for National Guard. And I'm like, okay. I look at their hours. I'm like, okay, they're gonna be open they're open on Mondays, clearly not Fridays. The discussion is gonna happen on Monday. Monday finally rolls around and it is time. I drive like a 40-minute trip from my house to the National Guard recruiting station that is very close to New York City. I'm driving down a main road after 40 minutes of driving, and I see this huge structure appearing on my right. So I roll up and I turn into what looks like a parking lot, I think, because there's a huge building and I see a few cars parked. But that's the thing. Why were there only a few cars parked? Where's the rest of the cars? Is this open? I don't have time for this a third time. I refuse. I will literally flip my car into the Hudson River. So I calm myself. I'm like, it's probably in my head. There are cars out here. It's just a light Monday. Not many people showed up. It's like 3 p.m., by the way, because I got off of work. So it is not an early morning where no one should be at work. But I'm being hopeful. So I park my car. I find a door that looks ajar. That means open. And I say, okay, if they're not open, I might be breaking the law and maybe trespassing. If they are open, great. This was a really weird start. So really, no one's winning. But it's fine. I confidently walk through said door, and I find myself in an auditorium that's huge, dark, and concerning. And I go, oh my God, it's happening again. This place cannot be open. So I turn back to my car and I say, God, what are we doing here? Maybe this isn't my path. And then, so I kind of call it a day, because at this point I'm like, whatever. But then that night I do look up that there actually is an Air Force recruiting station near my house, only 15 minutes away, a very easy drive, almost like a straight shot. On Tuesday, I wake up, I go to work, I get off at a reasonable time. I drive my car the 15-minute trip from my house to the Air Force recruiting office. And I park my car and I just sit there for 10 minutes. Sitting in the feeling of this could change my life, mixed with this is really scary and I'm not sure if this is for me. So, I don't know. I just sat in my car. But to be honest, it was getting really hot in that car because I turned it off because I was not trying to waste my gas because I was on a budget. So I sat in my hot car and just thought and kind of built up confidence. And then eventually, as you'll find out in life, sometimes you have to rip the Band-Aid off. So I got out my car and I quickly noticed that the windows for the Air Force recruiter's office have this covering where you can tell they can probably see through, but we cannot see into the building, even though it is fully glass. And then you also notice that there is a camera with a code, you don't knock, you don't just walk in. No, it is a locked door with a security camera right in front of you and a code for people who are getting in if they know the code. And so I guess that was slightly cool, but it was also kind of that's a little intense. Is this necessary? I don't know. Is that necessary? But I don't know. So I hit the buzzer. I wait until, yes. What would you like? Hi, I'm here to talk to a recruiter about the Air Force. So, yeah. I enter the Air Force recruiter's office and they relatively quickly mention that, oh, at this office, we don't have a reserve recruiter. We have Air Force active duty recruiting here. We don't. Those are separate functions, separate entire structures, even though they fall under the larger Air Force, like high up. But after speaking with that recruiter about both reserves and active duty and then doing some thinking about, okay, I think I might actually be open to active duty, let me talk to the other branch. I want to say that I chose active duty because I wanted a full transformation in my life. And I didn't like the idea of doing something so different and so new and then returning to my old lifestyle or my old circumstances for the majority of my time and then just having this fresh, new, unique experience only once a month. So everyone, that's why I chose active duty and not the reserves or guard, but all three are awesome options and you're serving your country regardless. Thank you everyone for watching today. If you liked this video, definitely hit subscribe and click that like button if you want to help me out. Every Thursday, I'm going to be posting videos about my experience in the military, about what went wrong, what went right, and my advice for those of you about to start your own journey. If you want to be a part of it, definitely click subscribe, and I will see you next week. Bye.